Shalom, brothers and sisters, and once again, this is Brother Brandon Judah Matt Duffy representing the Solid Foundation International Ministries. Okay, and today's topic would be no other than we're going to elaborate on Cornelius. All right, Cornelius. Some camps say Cornelius was an Edomite. Some camps say Cornelius was an Israelite. Well, the camps that saying Cornelius is an Edomite, you guys are not studying in the scriptures. You guys don't have any understanding on the scriptures. If you're saying that Cornelius is an Edomite, you need to sit down, man. You need to go back and you need to analyze the scriptures to get a better understanding, because the Most High does not change. Okay, he's the Ancient of Days, and he does not change. All right, if he didn't deal with Gentiles in the beginning, there's no way in hell that he's dealing with Gentiles in the end. The book, the Bible, is an Israelite book. Okay, it was written for Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All right, and throughout the whole entire Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, the Most High is not dealing with any other nation besides Israel. Okay. So we're going to get into that. Cornelius was an Israelite from the northern kingdom. And I want to say all praises due to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, double honors to the elders and salutations to the brothers that's preaching the truth and sincerity. Alright, let's get into it. Acts chapter 10 verse 1. There was a certain man at Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band. Now Cornelius was a centurion. Now that word centurion, okay, right here, that word centurion, and let's just say in the ancient Roman army, basically that's what Cornelius was. He was in the Roman army. Okay. That in the ancient Roman army, the commander of a century. So centurion comes from the word basically century, which means 100. He was basically a commander of 100 men. All right, that's why he was called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, because he was none other than basically a commander of 100 men. And he was granted Roman citizenship in the army. He was a commander in the Roman army that was basically granted Roman citizenship. So once Roman citizenship was granted, natives took upon other Roman names, man, and his name was called Cornelius, a centurion. All right, just like in America today, if you is a Chinese person, Japanese person, Mongolian person, any like a foreigner, if you go and join the U.S. military, man, you will become automatically a U.S. citizen, even though you from another country, even though you from another region. All right, if you go and join the military, the U.S. military, even though you was born in China, if you join the U.S. military, you're gonna be considered a United States citizen, man. That's the same deal for Cornelius. Cornelius was an Israelite, but man, he joined the Roman army, man. He became a commander of 100 men. So therefore his name was Cornelius the centurion. And once he became in the Roman army, man, he became a Roman citizen, and his name changed, man. But by blood, man, Cornelius was an Israelite. We're gonna go into it. A devout man, and one that feared the Most High with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to the Most High always. So he was a devout man. You can look at Acts 2 and 5 for that. So let's go to Acts 2 and 5 concerning a devout man. Show you this right quick. Acts chapter 2, verse 5. That's Acts 2, verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. So Jews, devout man. Cornelius was from the northern kingdom. And like the Israelites was always known as what? They was known as devout men. Okay. And I'm just going to show you, man. Basically, you can read for yourself. If you look down at Acts chapter 2 and verse 8, it says, "How hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born." Okay, because this basically talking about the day of Pentecost. But what I'm just letting you see, these devout man right here in verse 5 out of Acts chapter 2 out of verse 5 says these Jews were devout men. These devout men was Parthians, Medes, Elamites, dwellers of Mesopotamia, Judea, Cappadocia, Pontus, Asia, Phrygia, Pamphylia, and Egypt, and all the parts of Libya and Cyrene, strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes, Arabians. All these were Israelites that were staying in different regions, man, which came to worship, okay? Which came to Jerusalem to worship, man. And they was known as what? Devout men. Okay, so let's go back to Acts chapter 10 concerning Cornelius. And it says out of Acts 10, let's wait till the camera gets straight. Out of Acts 10 and 2, it says a devout man. It says, and one that feared the Most High. Okay, so if you look at Proverbs 1 and 7, it says, the beginning of knowledge is the fear of the Most High. And he feared the Most High. If Cornelius was an Edomite, he would have no fear toward the Most High, man. Because if you look at Psalms 36 and 1, I'm going to show you this. Look at Psalm 36 and 1. If Cornelius was an Edomite, man, he wouldn't fear the Most High. So he wasn't an Edomite, he was an Israelite. Psalm 36 and 1. Psalm 36 and 1. The transgression of the wicked said within my heart that there is no fear of the Most High before his eyes. So the transgression of the wicked says what? That there is no fear before his eyes. And we know it's three categories of man. You have the sons of God, and then you have the sons of man, and then you have the sons of the wicked, which are the Edomites. But Cornelius was a devout man. He was a devout man and one that feared the Most High. Now we showed you in Psalm 36 and 1 that the wicked say there is no fear in his heart toward the Most High. So Cornelius wasn't an Israelite. It says, with all his house, which gave much alms to the people, and he prayed. Now in verse 3 it says that he saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of the Most High coming to him, saying, and to him Cornelius. Verse 4, and when he looked on him, he was afraid, and he said, what it is, Lord, the Most High? He said unto him, thy prayers and thy alms are come up for a memorial before the Most High. So Cornelius was not an Edomite, man. That's why I got this question mark over here. Was it Edomite? No, he wasn't an Edomite. Why? Because it says thy prayers and thy alms are come up for a memorial before the Most High. See? And it says verse 5, now seeing man to Joppa and called for one Simeon whose surname is Peter, a Simon whose surname is Peter. So verse 4 says when he looked on him, he was afraid. Looked on who? Looked on the angel, because Cornelius was praying at the 9th hour, the 9th hour of the day, an angel of the Most High came to him. Now let me show you something. Basically out of Psalms 147, 19 and 20. The Most High ain't dealing with no damn Edomites, man. He ain't dealing with you European people or any other nation that are not Israel. Because when Cornelius was praying, an angel came to him, y'all. So let me show you something out of Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He showed his word unto Jacob. Now the word for Jacob is Israel. His statutes and his judgment into Israel. Okay? So this is who the Most High is dealing with. He showed his word to Jacob, which is Israel. His statutes and his judgment to Israel. See? Jacob is another name for Israel. So the Most High showed his word to Jacob. He showed his word to Israel. He showed his statutes to Israel. He showed his judgments to Israel. Verse 20. He had not dealt so with any nation. Yeah, because he don't deal with you other Gentile nations. You Edomites, which is white folks. Ammonites, which is Japanese. Moabites, which is Chinese. Elamites, which is East Indians. Ishmaelites, which is Arabs. Hamites, which are Africans. He don't deal with you other nations, man. He had not dealt so with any other nation. And as far as his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Most High. So why in the hell is Cornelius an Edomite, man? When he specifically tells you in his word that he doesn't deal with any other nation. The only nation that he deals with is Israel. So how is Cornelius an Edomite, man? So y'all better be careful, man, because when you say that, man, you make the Most High a liar, man. And the Most High say he don't change. So if you're saying that Cornelius is an Edomite, basically you're saying that the Most High power changes, man. He don't change. Because he has not dealt so with any other nation. You're going to discover that Cornelius was an Israelite of the northern kingdom. Now let's not forget, the Most High doesn't change, man. Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. For I am the Most High, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob, sons of Israel, are not consumed. So for I am the Most High, he does what? He say, I change not. So what makes you think that the Most High going to change his mind and start dealing with another group of people that he didn't give his law, statutes, and commandments to in the first place? That don't make any damn sense, man. Alright? So if y'all teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite, I don't give a damn what camp out there. If y'all teaching Cornelius is an Edomite, y'all are going off, man. And it's not the truth, man. Let's go back to Acts chapter 10. Let's look at verse 5. And now send man to Joppa and call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter. Verse 6. He lodged with one Simon a tanner, whose house is by the seaside. He shall tell thee what thou art to do. Okay. Verse 7. And when the angel which spoke to Cornelius was departed, he called two of his household servants, and a devout soldier of them, a devout soldier, Israelite that was in the Roman army, a devout soldier of them that waited on him continually. Verse 8. And when he had declared all these things unto them, he sent them to Joppa. That's where Peter was at, y'all. Okay, that was like round near in Judea, man. Caesarea was northward of Judea. Okay. And he sent men down to Judea to get Peter. Verse 9. On the morrow, as they went on their journey and drew near to the city, Peter went up upon the housetop to pray about the 6th hour. Verse 10. And when he became very hungry, and he would have eaten, but while he made ready, he fell into a trance. Verse 11. And saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descended into him, as it had been a great sheet knit at four corners and let down to the earth. Okay. This vessel that descended to him had been a great sheet, a knit at four corners that were let down to the earth. So what is it talking about when it says a knit at the four corners? Let's look at Deuteronomy, which you see right here, 32 and 26. I'm going to show you concerning the four corners of that sheet. Deuteronomy 32 and 26. Deuteronomy 32 and 26. I just want to show y'all this. You can also look at Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 27. It says, And the Most High shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen. Whether the Most High shall lead thee, so he shall scatter you among the nations. That's talking about the sheet that was lit down, because the Israelites were scattered into four corners of the earth. north, south, east, and west. Alright? I just want to show you this, how they were scattered. You can also look at how the 4 sheets, how the sheet that was knitted down had 4 corners concerning Peter's vision. You can look at the 28th chapter in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And you can look at the 25th verse when it says, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. That's talking about the 4 nicks, north, south, east, and west. Okay, that's talking about the 4 nicks. And Deuteronomy 32 and 26. When it says, I said I would scatter them into the corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. So he said, what? The Most High say, for our disobedience, I would scatter them into the corners. Okay, that's what he did. He scattered the Israelites into all the corners of the earth. North, south, east, and west. And this just goes back to, in Peter's vision, this goes back to that sheet lit at the 4 corners that was let down to the earth. Alright. Verse 12. Wherein were all manner of 4-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowl of the air. So he's seen all these unclean 4-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things upon this sheep that was let down from out of heaven. Okay, in 13 it says, and there came a voice to him, rise, Peter, kill and eat. Verse 14, but Peter said, not so, Most High, for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean. This also lets you know that Peter was keeping the dietary law. Because Peter actually thinking that this vision is talking about literal food. He's actually thinking that it's talking about delicacy, but it's not talking about delicacy. Peter don't have no understanding yet. He thinks that the Most High is telling him to eat unclean food. But Peter said, not so. I have never eaten anything coming to unclean. Peter was a Jew from the tribe of Judah. That lets you know he was keeping the dietary law. So most churches would try to use this to justify that it's okay to eat unclean food, man. And it's not. They don't understand that these unclean animals that Peter are seeing in his vision has nothing to do with food. It's talking about the Gentiles, man, from the northern kingdom that was unclean that will become clean at a latter time. You'll see what I'm talking about. Verse 15, and the voice spoke unto him again a second time, what God has cleansed, thou call not thou common. In other words, what the Most High has cleansed, don't call it uncommon. What the Most High has cleansed, don't call it uncommon. Okay? This was done thrice. It was done 3 times, and the vessel was received up again into the heavens. Okay, it says, now while Peter doubted in himself what this vision which he had seen should mean, because he didn't understand, he was thinking that it was literal food, but it wasn't. Behold, the man which were sent from Cornelius had made inquiry for Simon's house, and stood before the gate. Verse 18, and called and asked whether Simon was surnamed Peter was lodged there. Verse 19, while Peter thought on the vision, he's still thinking about that vision because he don't understand. The Spirit said unto him, behold, 3 men seek thee. Okay? And the reason why the 3 men represents how he saw this vision 3 times. Alright? It says, arise therefore and get thee down and go with them, doubting nothing, for I have sent them. Okay? Verse 21. Then Peter went down to the men which were sent unto him from Cornelius, and said, behold, I am he who ye seek. What is the cause? Wherefore ye are come? Basically, why are you here for? Because Cornelius sent 3 men to Peter. Peter want to know why they are there. Verse 22, and they said, Cornelius the centurion. Cornelius the centurion, a just man. It says a just man. If he was an Edomite, there's nothing just about that. Because he don't deal with the Edomites. They are not just. They are wicked men. Cornelius the centurion, a just man, and one that feared the Most High, and of a good report among all the nation of the Jews, was warned from the Most High by a holy angel to send for thee into his house, and to hear words of thee. So this says he goes to Cornelius. So this is when Peter going to Cornelius. All this what I'm talking about is going to be explained. Then called he them and lodged them. And on tomorrow, Peter went away with them. A certain brother from Joppa accompanied him. And the morrow after they entered into Caesarea, it says, and Cornelius waited for them, and had called together his kinsmen and near friends. And as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him. So as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshipped him. This is when Peter is arriving at Cornelius' house now. Okay, verse 26. But Peter took him up, saying, stand up, I myself also am a man. In other words, Cornelius, don't worship me, don't fall down. I am also a man myself. I'm not higher than anybody else. I'm just a man. Okay, verse 27. And as he talked with him, he went in and found many that were come together. He said unto them, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come into one another nation, because Peter was from the tribe of Judah. Okay, so he said that you know this is an unlawful thing. This is not right. This is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come into one of another nation. Okay, why did he say that? Because the Jews wasn't dealing with the northern kingdom at that time. They wasn't dealing with these northern kingdom Israelites at that time. So I'm going to show you that there's two different types of Gentiles. There are two types of Gentiles. Look at St. John 7 and 35. This is chapter 7 out of St. John, 35th verse. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go that we shall not find him? Because they were saying, where is Christ going that we shall not find him? Where's Yahushua going? They said, well, will he go into the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Because he said, will he go to the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Because there are two different types of Gentiles. That's why you see Gentiles here twice. There are two different types of Gentiles. There are Gentiles that are Japhites, that are not from the house of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that are not from the house of Israel. And there are Gentiles which are from the house of Israel that went off and took upon other customs of other heathens, and that became in a Gentile state of mind, that was following the ways of the Romans, the Greeks, and all different types of other heathenistic nations. They became in a Gentile state of mind, even though they was Israelites according to the flesh. And these are the same Israelites that Paul taught, and these are the same Israelites that are known as Gentiles in the New Testament. Northern kingdom Gentiles, which are no other than Israelites. I just want you to see it's two types of Gentiles. Gentiles right here is when it says, when he go to the dispersed among the Gentiles. These Gentiles are Japhites. Israelites, these Gentiles are Japhites right here, that are basically non-Israelites, that are not from the house of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And it says, and teach the Gentiles. These Gentiles right here are, however, Israelites that took upon the customs of these Gentiles. Israelites that have followed these Gentiles, doing everything they do. And they did it for so long, they became just like them. Therefore, they were called Gentiles as well. These are the Gentiles in the New Testament. So I just wanted to show you that was two types of Gentiles. Let's go back to Acts 10 and 28. It says, and he said unto them, ye know that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one another it's unlawful for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come into one another nation. Because he said it ain't right for us Jews to be dealing to keep company to come into one of another nation. So what he talking about? Let's look at Ezekiel 37:22. I'll show you that. He says, and I will make them one nation. This is future prophecy. This is concerning Ezekiel. Okay? So you can see Ezekiel 37, 22nd verse. He says, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. And one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations. Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all, because they will eventually come together as one nation like the days of David, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. That's why he say, I will make them one nation. And he says right down here, it says, they shall be no more two nations. Alright? And that was Ezekiel 37:22. That's why I said in Acts 10:28, he said unto them, ye know that it isn't a lawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or to come into one another nation. See? Because let's not forget the prophecy of Ezekiel. He said, look, man, because back then the Jews weren't dealing with the northern kingdom, because he cast them off. But the Most High sent Christ, Yahushua, to die for the northern kingdom, primarily for the northern kingdom, for the southern kingdom too. And he brought reconciliation to the northern kingdom so they can be united as one to the southern kingdom again. But before then, he was only dealing with the Jews. But right here now, this letting you see that how the northern kingdom is getting salvation as well. That's why he said, God hath showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. See, so right over here, out of verse 14, out of Acts chapter 10, but Peter said, not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything common or unclean. He thought this was food. He thought it was a literal delicacy. He thought it was literal food right here. He didn't have no understanding. But when he went to Cornelius, he knew that the Most High was showing him that now these wasn't actually unclean animals as food. These unclean animals represented the northern kingdom of Israel that was calling themselves Gentiles, okay? He said that God have shown me that I should not call any man coming to unclean. So this ain't got nothing to do with food, man. The Most High was bringing salvation to the northern kingdom as well, just like the southern kingdom, to make them one nation again. Alright? So, how do we know that Cornelius was an Israelite? Let's skip some of this. I'm going to show you. So, Cornelius was telling basically Peter what was going on. Okay, because Cornelius said, 4 days ago I was fasting until this hour, and at the 9th hour I prayed in my house, and behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing. And he said, Cornelius, thy prayers heard, and thy alms are had in remembrance in the sight of the Most High. He said, send therefore to Joppa, and call here Simon, whose surname is Peter, and he lodged in the house of one Simeon and Tanner by the seaside. When he cometh, shall speak unto thee. Cornelius is telling basically what happened, why he was sent to go get Peter, why he sent 3 men out to get Peter. Okay, verse 33, immediately therefore I sent to thee, and thou hast well done that thou art come. Now therefore we all here present before the Most High to hear all these things that are commanded to the Most High, that are commanded of the Most High. Verse 34, listen closely. Okay, then Peter opened his mouth and said, of the truth, I perceive that the Most High has no respect of persons. Alright? So he's no respect of persons, right? Let's go to Exodus 2:25 to show you the precept. He said the Most High has no respect of persons. This is what Peter was saying, because he was giving salvation as well to the northern kingdom. So Exodus 2:25, when he said the Most High has no respect of persons. I want to show y'all this. Exodus 2:25. This is what it reads out of Exodus 2 and 25. And the Most High looked upon the children of Israel, and the Most High had respect unto them. And the Most High looked upon the children of Israel and had respect unto them. So this is who the Most High has respect for. Who? The children of Israel. This is Exodus 2 and 25. So let's go back to Acts chapter 10. And let's read the 34th verse over again out of Acts chapter 10. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, of the truth I perceive that the Most High has no respect of persons. Okay, we just gave the precept, Exodus 2 and 25. Respect the persons out of Israel. Okay, it says, but in every nation, he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. Okay, most people say, he say out of every nation. Well, let's not forget what happened. The children of Israel were scattered out to the four corners of the earth. All right, and that's why earlier when we were reading about in Peter's vision, he saw a certain vessel that ascended to him. It had been a great sheet knit at four corners. Yeah, because those four corners represents the Israelites that were scattered out to different regions, north, south, east, and west. So let's go back over here at verse 35 out of Acts chapter 10. It says, but in every nation. We know that the Israelites were scattered out in every nation. We know that when the Most High said that he is no respect of persons, we seen that in Exodus 2 and 25, it says Israel. It says that he that feared him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. Verse 36. This is the kicker. Here's the kicker. It says the word which the Most High sent to the children of Israel. What word that he sent to the children of Israel? That he was no respecter of persons. Okay? And we seen that in Exodus 2 and 25. It said he looked upon the children of Israel and had respect. So what that make Cornelius? Cornelius is an Israelite from the northern kingdom, y'all. He is an Israelite from the northern kingdom. I hope you can see that, man. Alright? He is an Israelite from the northern kingdom. I want to give you one more concerning Cornelius is a Israelite from the northern kingdom. I want to give you one more to show you that. Alright? Well, maybe two more. Okay, let's look at chapter 11. This is what Peter accused. Let me explain chapter 11. It says, and the apostles and the brethren that were in Judea heard that the Gentiles had also received the word of the Most High. Okay, so it said the apostles and the brethren in Judea, which were the southern kingdom, heard that the Gentiles had received the word of the Most High. The Gentiles were the northern kingdom. Okay, let's not forget it's two types of Gentiles concerning St. John 7 and 35. So the southern kingdom, which was Judea, the apostles in Judea, heard that the Gentiles had also received the word of the Most High. The northern kingdom of Israel. Okay, because they heard about all this. What happened when Peter went to visit Cornelius and so forth. And when Peter was come up to Jerusalem, they that were of the circumcision, talking about the southern kingdom, because they were circumcised, they was raised under the law of Moses. It says those of the circumcision contended with him because they got mad at Peter before. They got mad when they heard about Peter was dealing with Cornelius and his men. Okay, verse 3 saying, you went to the man uncircumcised and you ate with them? Saying thou went to the man uncircumcised and did eat with them? This is what the apostles are contending with Peter for, because they didn't understand, because they knew that the southern kingdom never dealt with the northern kingdom. The southern kingdom did not deal with the northern kingdom Israelites that was calling themselves Gentiles. They didn't deal with them. So when they heard about this, when they heard about Peter up kicking it with Cornelius and his men, they say, hey man, you went to these men that are circumcised? Now, you can look at the history of uncircumcision and find out how these men became uncircumcised. During the beginning, during the reign of the Greeks. You can see this in 1 Maccabees 1 and 48. How King Antiochus wrote a decree And he forced all the Israelites to consent to convert to his customs and his traditions. Okay, let's look at first, because that's why it says uncircumcised. The uncircumcised were the northern kingdom Israelites who Paul taught. Peter taught the circumcision. So the uncircumcised were the northern kingdom of Israel that was not Jews. The circumcised were the southern kingdom of Israel that was Jews. And the circumcised or the southern kingdom was asking Peter, why did you go to these uncircumcised Israelites from the northern kingdom? And why did you sit down and eat with them? And Peter told his story how the Most High showed him the vision of the unclean animals, how they related to the Gentiles, and that he was not to call them unclean no more, because the Most High had gave salvation as well to the northern kingdom. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you, that, man. When he said, how come you went to these uncircumcised men? Now let me give you the history of how these men became uncircumcised. Going into 1 Maccabees 1 and 48 to give you the history how Israelites became uncircumcised. Alright. Okay. We know the Israelites was uncircumcised. Okay. I'm just giving you the history how they became uncircumcised. They became uncircumcised during the reign of the Greeks, which is called beginning with 333, 331, somewhere around the area. That was beginning with the reign of the Greeks. This called a Hellenistic period. So I'm gonna just read 1 Maccabees at 1 and 48 to show you how the Israelites became circumcised. But before I read the 48th verse, I'll read verse 41. Where it says Hellenistic period. As you can see, it says Hellenistic period. Right below Hellenistic period, this is verse 41. It says, moreover, King Hellenistic period is in the pink. You'll see that it's highlighted. Okay, this is how they became uncircumcised. Verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. So King Antiochus wrote to the kingdom that all should be one people. King Antiochus, like I said, was an Edomite, man. Alright? King Antiochus. Alright? He was an Edomite. Alright? And he wrote to the kingdom that all should be one people. Let's look at the 42nd verse. It says, and everyone should leave his law. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Verse 43. Yes, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. Verse 44. For the king had sent letters by messengers into Jerusalem and to the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. Verse 45, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. Verse 46, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Verse 47, and set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. So you seen what King Antiochus did, man? Verse 41 tells you what he did. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. And he was telling the Israelites they should be one people. And if they didn't decide to go by his decree that he sent out, they decided not to go by his laws, that they would be put to death. How would we know that? How we know that? Let's look up at verse 48 out of 1 Maccabees. This is the 48th verse. It says, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. Verse 49. To the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. They may forget the law and change all the ordinances. So you can see right there, man. Verse 48. It says that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all uncleanness. See, look at verse 50. Check out verse 50. Now, whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said they should die. So Israelites became afraid. They became terrified, and they according to verse 48, they left their children uncircumcised, man. They left their children uncircumcised because they didn't want to face death, man. Now, if you go further on down, out of first chapter of Maccabees, I'm going to show you something else. Look at 61. Look at verse 61. Verse 61. And they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. See that? When the Israelites would circumcise their kids, even though King Antiochus told the Israelites not to, the Israelites that were still circumcising their kids, verse 61 says, they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Verse 62, howbeit many in Israel was fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat anything unclean. Verse 63, wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So they died, and there was very great wrath upon Israel. This is the beginning of Hellenistic period, which you can see in the pink box. This is the beginning of the Hellenistic period, which lasts from 331 BC all the way to 70 AD. This is when the Israelites became Hellenized under the rule of the Greeks. Okay? And this is not in the ordinary Bible, okay, because it was taken out. This is in the apocryphal books, okay, the authorized King James Version, the apocryphal books that was taken out by the Catholic Protestants in the 18th century, okay. And if you don't have these books, then you won't understand in the New Testament how, when it speaks of the uncircumcised, you won't understand when it speaks of the Gentiles being uncircumcised. Those Gentiles were Northern Kingdom Israelites that was uncircumcised. Why did they become uncircumcised? Well, we just read it. How King Antiochus wrote a decree saying that if anyone that he caught being circumcised would be put to death. So they became uncircumcised. You had Israelites uncircumcised, and this is how they was Hellenized. Okay. Alright, so this is talking about the uncircumcised, how they was Hellenized. I'm just giving you history on how Israelites became uncircumcised, and those same uncircumcised Israelites became Gentiles in the northern kingdom who the Jews weren't dealing with. I'm just letting you see. See? So I'm just letting you see, man, that Cornelius was an Israelite. The last verse I want to show you concerning Cornelius was an Israelite. Let's go to Acts 15 chapter 14 verse. Okay, so he said, after this I will return and I will build again the tabernacle of David. Same thing that Amos 9:11 was talking about, which is falling down. And I will build again the ruins thereof. Yeah, he will make the nation of Israel one nation again. He would build them. He would bridge them together as one nation. There would no longer be two nations, as the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. He say, and I would set it up. That means he would make them a whole nation again. All right. So all of this concerning Acts 15 and 16 is just reiterating what Amos 9:11 says. And all this is concerning what? How Simeon had declared how the Most High at first did visit the Gentiles to take out them a people for his name. And we know the first person the Most High came to deliver this significant message was Cornelius. We know that. So Simeon, which is Peter, had declared how the Most High first visited the Gentiles to take them out and name for his people. And because he's basically talking about how did he come to Cornelius. And to this agree the words of the prophet as is written. It's written in Amos 9:11. Amos 9:11 is concerning what? The tabernacle of David. So we know that Cornelius was an Israelite from the northern kingdom, y'all. Go back to Acts chapter 10 to show you this. Because what he was talking about in Acts 15 and 14, how Simon said that the Most High visit the Gentiles to take out people for his name, is right here in Acts chapter 10. When Cornelius sinned for Peter. You know what I'm saying? When we was reading earlier about that certain man at Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, and he was also a devout man. He was the one that feared the Most High. You know, it says he saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of the Most High coming to him and saying unto him, Cornelius. See, and when he looked on him, he was afraid, and he said, what is it? Lord. And he said unto him, thy prayers and thy alms will come up for the memorial of the Most High. See, so it's just talking about he saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of the Most High came to him, saying, Cornelius. Okay, and this is when the Most High had visited Cornelius to let him see that salvation would be also granted to the northern kingdom, who were calling themselves Gentiles in the New Testament. And this is the same thing that Acts 15 and 14 is talking about. Simon had declared how the Most High first did visit the Gentiles. Yeah, because in Acts chapter 10, he visited Cornelius to take out them a people for his name. And that's why they said, and to this degree, the words of the prophet as is written. Amos 9:11 speaks about the tabernacle of David, which is falling down, how he would build the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom into one fold, and how he would set it up, and how they would be one whole nation again. So Cornelius was an Israelite, man. Okay? And anybody following these fake ass teachers out here, man, that's telling you that Cornelius was an Edomite. I'm talking about any camp that's preaching this, man. Anybody out here that's following these fake ass teachers, man, that's telling you that Cornelius was an Edomite, you better start doing research, man. You better start studying the word, and you better start looking to see this thing. You better start praying to the Most High. Y'all about y'all try to open your eyes up, because if not, man, y'all gonna be led right down the damn drain with these fake ass prophets, these fake ass teachers, man, and y'all gonna be put to death, man. All right, and that goes for anybody. All right. Until next time, now you know the truth. Shalom.